Hi, this is Michelle with Just Michelle. Welcome back to my channel. I thought I would take a minute this evening and come on here and talk to you about my lupus hair journey from when I was diagnosed to where I am now. So, what was really the hardest thing about being diagnosed wasn't the illness, it was really watching my hair fall out. And what really happened and changed my mind is the understanding of how hair grows is really about how healthy your scalp is. So I want to kind of walk you through the highs and lows of how I am today and where I have been on this journey. And I want to talk to you about a couple of the pitfalls that kind of happened to me along the way. So I was diagnosed with lupus SLE back in 2020. So I was put on a treatment plan consisting of folic acid, prednisone, Benlysta. That was my weekly auto injection. I was on two different high blood pressure pills, and folic acid and methotrexate. If I didn't say that. So when I looked up what the side effects were from this medication, once I started seeing the shedding of my hair, I think four of these medications totally had the side effect of hair loss. So I really feel like the hair loss and everything I was experiencing with bald spots on my scalp, I really feel like medication played a role in it. So, just a quick disclaimer again, I am not a medical professional. I am simply here sharing my experiences with my lupus hair journey and what worked for me. I do encourage you to talk to your healthcare team about anything you're concerned with as far as your hair loss, hair shedding, and scalp issues with your medical team. So, let me start from the beginning. There was this movie or a series that came on Netflix called Self Made Madam CJ Walker. Now, I watched this whole four-part series and just loved it. But the one part that stuck out with me when watching this series, and it still does today, is when it was the scene, probably I think the first episode, is when she was having hair issues and she was having scalp issues, and she was going to her consistently to have this magic potion rubbed into her scalp, and she was having it done consistently, and it was being massaged into her hair follicles. And what happened next is that her hair grew back beautifully. And so that totally inspired me and made me think, what should I do? Because at this time, I had a lot of hair loss. I was wearing wigs to really hide the shame of my hair falling out. And so, what I did, this is when I made a decision to shave off my hair. When I went to the hall closet, went to the bedroom, looked in the mirror, and completely shaved my hair off. And honestly, that was a starting point for where I am today. I often have people ask me, well, let me see a picture when you shaved your hair off. And I'm going to be honest with you. At this point in time in my life, I was really fighting for my health and trying to get my confidence back and look the best I could when I faced the public. I was not tracking my hair growth journey, nor was I documenting it. None of that was on my mind at the time. So I do not have a picture of myself when I did this. And honestly speaking, the way I may have one picture from then, it wasn't when my hair was shaved off. There was nothing that I wanted to go back to remind me of how bad I felt at that time in my life. Because that picture would just be a reminder of one of the lowest points in my life. So, no, I did not take a picture, nor did I document it, or any of that. Again, I was fighting for my health. So, as I said at the time, I was wearing wigs to really kind of hide the shame. So I found this hair mixture recipe that I'm definitely going to leave in the comments for you because I definitely want to share it with you. And I highly suggest that you use this mixture on your hair and see how well it does because it has a ton of benefit. So I can remember what was in this hair mixture. I definitely remember it was aloe juice. I used peppermint oil, and rose water. I think it's a couple of things that I'm missing, but I'm definitely going to leave a link to the hair mixture in the comments. So what I did with this mixture is I got a mist hairspray bottle, mixed everything together, and I put it in the refrigerator. And at the time, if I recall, you had to put it in the refrigerator because the aloe vera juice I used required to be refrigerated. But if you get the aloe vera that does not require to be refrigerated, I suggest that you refrigerate this anyways because the cooling sensation of this hair mixture, I believe, was really calming the inflammation in my scalp, which made it so relieving. So when I sprayed it on my scalp in the morning and in the evening, it just felt amazingly good and so refreshing. And it was just so soothing. And I honestly, I really think at that time, it was really taking care of the inflammation in my scalp, which made it the cooling sensation and just really felt like a head massage. It was the best thing. So I definitely want you to give this hair mixture a try. Okay, so I use this hair mixture spray every day consistently. And I believe by the third week, I have to say for sure, that is when I was starting to see hair growth. I remember having a little afro, and the curls were so little and cute, and I just could feel them because when I put the spray on my hair, that's when I used to massage. So the little hairs just felt so soft and beautiful, and it really felt like when my children were born and they had a little baby hair. That's exactly what this felt like. And it was at that time I knew that this spray mixture was awesome and that it really worked. Once I had enough hair to get braids, that's when I started getting braids. So I was wearing braids maybe for a year and year and a half, but I continued to use the hair mixture on my scalp. And a couple of reasons that it really helped was when you get your hair braided and the braids are really tight around the front, around your edges, and in the back when you first get them done, really tight. You're kind of wait for them that day 2 or 3 when the braids loosen up and it don't feel so irritating. This spray really helped with that irritation. So again, ton of benefits from it. Because it was cold, it still felt really nice and relieving on the scalp. So that's one of the benefits of we're using it when you have your braids. Not only you're spraying your scalp, but it also helps with some of the scalp irritation. Again, I did that for a year, year and a half. Then I switched over to sew-ins. So from that point, I was wearing sew-ins for maybe about 2 years. So you don't really have direct access to your scalp. So the spray couldn't use that as much anymore. But the stylist I was using, she was actually putting oil on my scalp. And the first time she did it, I mean, my scalp woke up. It was like singing. I was like, girl, what did you put on my scalp? And so she said something really quick. And I was like, what is it? So this stylist always used to gatekeep on products. She would never tell me what it was. And I remember when I was in her salon, I remember always trying to look at her station so I can see what was this oil and the name of it so I can go buy it. But I never could find it. It was like she pulled it out of a bag or a drawer and put it back in there. But I know for when she used to put it on my scalp, I mean, it felt so tingly. And again, it felt like my follicles just was waking up when she put this oil on my scalp. So those sew-ins, that is when my follicles were being nourished by scalp oil. Up until this point in my life, and at that point I was early 40s, no one had told me about oiling my scalp. All I knew about was hair grease, and that was it. So the scalp oil and the herbs and essential oils that people that was being used and hair oils, I didn't know anything about that. In all my years, it was up until that point in time that I knew about how important and important benefits of hair oils were. So late 2023, I had moved to a different state. I needed my sew-ins done. So I found a new stylist who had a last minute appointment because I needed my sewing redone because I was going out of town. I went to her, and while she was taking my weave out, she was unbraiding. And I quote for quote, I remember what she said. She said, girl, do you know how much hair you have on your head? Because remember, I wasn't going through all these processes of braids, sew ins to be tracking my hair growth process. I really was just getting this, I was having this done, but I was still going through my health concerns, like my symptoms, seeing my doctor, trying to feel good. So the last thing on my mind was my hair. So I wasn't tracking anything. Even when she said, girl, you know how much hair you have in your head, it was like a shock to me. I'm like, what? So when she swung the chair around and like pulled and stretched out some of my hair, I was like, oh, I didn't know my hair was that long. So she convinced me to get a silk press, gave me a silk press. She cut the dead ends off. She evened the hair out. And I was sitting in that chair so excited that my hair had grown. This is like the first time in years I gave my natural hair any thought and concern, but I was so happy. I could not wait to get out of that hair salon. I was tripping over my feet to get to my car to go home and tell people how long my hair was. So here I am showing you a picture that my husband took of my hair when I came home from the salon. Next morning is when I had on my bathrobe and I had did some pin curls the night before, so I wanted to be kind of cute and I put no heat in it, so I did the pin curls. And it turned out kind of cute. But to let y'all know, this was my aha moment that healing scalp inflammation equals hair growth. Okay, so at this point, I was really starting to try to make my own hair growth oil since my other stylist wouldn't tell me what she was using. So I was in the kitchen mixing jojoba oil, olive oil, peppermint oil, tea tree, rosemary, and my daughter would call it a witch's brew, that's what it kind of looked like. But this one, I started taking this oil, and 3 to 4 times a week, I was nourishing my scalp. I was massaging it at night, and I was just making sure that I had kept my hair nice and moistured and hydrated because I loved how the benefits of using all natural products was working because I saw the benefit. And the biggest thing about my new hair care routine was really massaging my scalp and bringing that blood flow to the areas where I had the most concern. And I know for a fact, this is one of the reasons why my hair just flourishes as much as it does. I know you've heard this myth that dirty hair grows hair. That is the furthest thing from the truth. So I was working with this girl back in high school, and she used to always have this beautiful hair. And I remember her hair care routine. And so she told me she washed her hair every week. And I was like, every week? I just understand why she would do that. But she had the most beautiful hair. She was taught right that clean scalp grows your hair. So now in my routine, now that I've learned what I've learned, I wash my hair either once a week or every 2 weeks. I do not go past 14 days with washing my hair. I use all natural shampoo and conditioner that has growth supporting ingredients. I make sure not to use any products on my hair that have harsh chemicals that will disrupt my hair growth pattern. So let's talk about my setbacks. So I know I have a sensitive scalp. I have a sensitive scalp because of the medications that I take. So my hair is more prone to breakage and hair fall and shedding because I'm on a lot of medication for my health condition. So I had this stylist. She suggested that I put perms on my edges to make my edges look more sleek and I can have like pretty baby hair. She just like, oh, it'd be so cute when you wear your hair in ponytails. And so I was falling for it. I'm like, oh, I should put relaxer on my hair for my edges. But guess what? My edges fell out. I know I have sensitive scalp. I knew from back when I was first diagnosed, when I had a relaxer, my hair was falling out. So I had already known that a relaxer for me with the medication that I'm on do not mix. I took her advice, put that relaxer on my edges, and my edges fell out. It set me back 6 months that for me to go back in and to recondition my hair that had been damaged to restore it back to health took me 6 months. I will never do that again. So I know for me, me and relaxers, we do not mix. So I'm an all natural hair girly and always will be. So my other setback, this happened early of 2025. See, the medication that I'm on causes me to have weight gain because I don't do anything about it to keep the weight off. So I want to take a shortcut to losing weight because I've seen everybody on TV get into shots and shots to lose weight. And I was like, well, let me get the shot so I can lose some weight. So I got on Wegovy. So, yes, the weight was coming off, but guess what else was coming off? My hair. Look at this picture. My hair was thinning so bad. My hair was so brittle. It felt completely damaged. Cut off the bad hair to reset my hair growth, which at this time I wasn't too upset about it. Due to my hair care routines would get my hair back to health and restoration would be no problem for me. So what I did for restoration, I washed it once a week, again with my natural shampoo and conditioner, making sure I had no harsh chemicals on my hair. I didn't use that much heat at all. All I would do was wash it. Then I would go ahead and let it air dry, braid it. I would put hair butter on my hair to keep it hydrated while I was in the braids, and I would wear a wig. So I wigged it out for 6 months, and I made sure I consistently, once a week, washed my scalp and my hair, making sure my scalp remained nice and cleansed. I was sure to use my hair oil on my scalp to make sure that I kept my hair follicles nourished, and I massaged it. Again, I did this consistently for 6 months. So just recently, I went and had a silk press done. So I'm going to show you the results in this picture of what my hair looks like now. That's my hair. I absolutely got my hair back. I do want to say that having healthy hair does not mean that you need to have butt length hair to your tailbone. You do not. I just want to make this statement. People do notice people with long hair, but they notice people with healthier hair first. So I'm not here to say that your hair will grow all the way down to your feet. No, I am not. But I know what it takes to make sure to get your hair back healthy, and that is what you want. That is what your goal should be. That is what my goal was. That would be all. It's always what my goal is. I don't want no long hair, not down to my tailbone. What am I gonna do with it? It's gonna get in the way. I'm just kidding. So again, the best recovery plan that you can do when you're having hair shedding or hair loss. I know a lot of people say don't be stressed. Now, that is something totally impossible. We all know we're going to have some stress in our life. If it's not our health, it's our family, it's something, it's work, it's something. You're always going to be stressed. But what I will say on for that, make sure you get sleep. Because when you sleep, that is the time that your body is healing. Not only your body, that also means that's time for your hair growth. So make sure you get your rest. You can be going through things because we all do, but please get some rest. Absolutely 100% do that. So, a recovery plan that I always suggest: wash your hair weekly or every 2 weeks. Do not go past 14 days. Make sure you're getting hydration from water, and I mean on your hair and internally, because hair growth is a two-part approach. You can do everything you can externally with all the products that you want, but if you are not feeding yourself nutrition and hydrating yourself from the inside out, your hair growth will continue to be stunted, or we won't get the biggest benefit that you need for hair growth. So if that's what you want, it's a two-part approach: externally and internally. I'm giving you this from my experience because this is what has helped for me. And I really believe if you're serious about getting your hair back, this will work for you. I want to say one important thing about alopecia. All of us have a different form of alopecia. Mine was medication alopecia. That is how I lost my hair. But if you have alopecia and you have scarring of your scalp, your hair growth may be a little different. So I want to suggest that you talk to a dermatologist and find out what is best for you. I want to hear from you. I know a lot of us are on the same path, whether you have lupus or you have another health condition that you've lost your hair and regained your hair, or somewhere in between. I just want to hear from you. I believe that your story will inspire me and others. And so please just leave your comments. I look forward to hearing from you, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you.